Hello, my name is Troy Kelsheimer. I'm with Carmel Fire Department out of Carmel, Indiana, just north of Indianapolis. I've got 28 years on, 7.5 of those years at Terre Haute, just west of Indianapolis. So back in March, we got an email from our department stating that they were going to offer ultrasounds, and we had to sign up. So I signed up, and then in March, went in, had the scan. They scanned various, organs. Had that done, and then shortly after, it was probably at 4 days, I ended up getting a phone call. They said it'd probably be about a week. I got the call like 4 days later. They found a mass on my left side of my thyroid that was vascular. They wanted me to do a follow-up with my family physician. So I ended up making a call. My family physician made an appointment. Within a couple of days, I went there. They actually Diagnostic Center, the United Diagnostic, sent the images to my family physician so they can look at them. I go there, and they said, "Yeah, you have looks like a mass that's vascular. So we'd like to get a biopsy, or we can just sit and watch, and kind of monitor it." And I said, "Well, let's do the biopsy. I want to get this taken care of." And then they asked me, like, "How did you find this out?" Because it's unheard of that you find it. It was 3 to 3.5 centimeters, I believe. And they said, "That's just unheard of. You don't have any signs or any symptoms." I said, "No, I didn't have anything. It was just by chance." And they said, "Well, how did you find this out?" And so our local union, was at a conference where United Diagnostic Services was located. They were presenting. So our union president had the scan done and immediately called our chief and wanted this for our whole department. And thankfully, our chief was able to secure some funds and luckily provided it to all firefighters free of charge for us, which was great. But anyway, so they're like, "That is awesome. This is unheard of that that you find it this early." So I ended up having a biopsy done of it. And while I'm there, the radiologist and their team came in to do the biopsy, and they asked, "How did you find this out? Because it's so small." And I told them the story, and they said, "This is absolutely amazing." Had the biopsy, and then it was probably 4 or 5 days after that, my nurse practitioner called me up and gave me the bad news that I had papillary thyroid cancer at 3.5 centimeters on that left side. They were going to hook me up with an ENT and go from there. So I said, "That's fine." Hung up the phone immediately, called my wife. One thing that we don't want ever to hear as firefighters is that C word, that we have cancer. That was one of the hardest things I've ever had to hear. And with 28 years on, I didn't think it would ever, happen to me, and hoped it would never happen to me. The next thing was having to tell your wife that you have cancer. Where she works, they end up, everybody there basically told me that I needed to go to this surgeon, which is a general surgeon that specializes in thyroid cancer. So I immediately, "That's fine," went there, called my nurse practitioner up, told her this is who I want to go with, made the appointment, and I was talking to the surgeon's nurse practitioner. And again, she was kind of like telling me about this procedure that they were getting ready to do and all this stuff, and then wanted to know how I found this out. And again, I had to tell them the story about our union being at this conference with United Diagnostic Services and had this come to our department, and absolutely thought it was amazing, that it was unheard of that we catch it this early. So had my surgery on May 22nd of 2023. And while I'm there, the surgeon and her team came in and they did another ultrasound. And I've had a few other ultrasounds. They had to do some mapping of my lymph nodes and stuff. And she was there and did another ultrasound to kind of look at it again. And she said, "How did you find this out? You were the firefighter, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "And they had a company come in?" And I said, "Yeah." They, told her the story yet again. And she said, "This is absolutely amazing, and this needs to get out. More firefighters, more people need to be doing this, because this is absolutely unheard of, because you had no signs and symptoms of anything wrong." I said, "No, nothing." And I told her, I said, "I agree." My wife, same thing. "I agree. We need to get this out." So, and even in that time period, once I did find out early March or late March that I had thyroid cancer. I went to JC, our union president, and once gave him a hug and, thanked him for bringing this company in. Two, was kind of curious to how many people, and he said, Troy, there's still people on the department that haven't got this scan. And I said, you got to be kidding me. So I ended up going back and writing an email, to our whole department and just encouraging them to get this scan. Now, nobody wants to hear that they have any type of cancer or anything wrong, but early detection is the key, for anything. And that's what this was. And every doctor that I went through said the same thing. This early detection is the key to everything.